This is section 5.1, part 4. We're talking about using these properties. Now, up to now, we've been using the properties by themselves. Generally speaking, though, we're going to end up combining a whole bunch of them. You're going to have a lot of options here. There are a lot of good first steps on a lot of these problems. Just because I make a choice does not mean it's absolutely 100% the right one, or that a way that you see it is not also correct. What I want you to do is just, if you see a direction to go, go for it. You can always back up and start again if you need to. Don't worry so much about finding the best way to get it done or the quickest way to get it done. That comes with practice, and right now you're just learning. So just try to get it down. All right, so let's look at this problem. I want to simplify this. Remember, if it's simplified, we don't have parentheses, so we definitely have to do something. What I've got here is I have 3 things multiplied together, a -5, an m to the 4th, and a p squared. This looks pretty much like property number 3, and it is. Even though this has 2 things multiplied together, this extends to any number of things multiplied together. It has to be multiplication. I cannot have an addition or subtraction in there. As long as it's multiplication, and I could have 100 things multiplied together and this property would still work. So what I'm going to do, this is property number 3. And what I do is I'm going to take this 3rd power on the outside and I'm going to put it on each of these. Now I need to use parentheses, especially since I have a negative here. Why I have to have parentheses will become a lot more apparent when we get down to this problem later. So I have -5 to the 3rd power, m to the 4th to the 3rd power, p squared to the 3rd power. Now, -5 to the 3rd power, that's one they might expect you to work. When you're raising negatives to powers and you have parentheses, I want you to make sure that you keep them. Use your parentheses. The parentheses are in the same position on the other calculator. -5, close parentheses. Use your exponent button. Again, it's in the same position on the other calculator. And you get -125. Okay, so this is -125. That's just the arithmetic step. Now look here. We still have parentheses, so we need to get rid of them. What I have here is an exponent raised to an exponent, and I have the same thing here. Both of those are property number 2. Property 2 says I multiply those exponents together. So this should be m to the 4 times 3, which is 12. And then p to the 2 times 3, which is 6. Okay, that's as simple as that one's going to get. Coming down to this one. What I need to recognize first is that this is a multiplication problem. What I'm going to do is I'm going to simplify each set of parentheses first, and then I'm going to multiply them together. Okay, just looking at this one. I have a 3rd power on the outside of parentheses. I have 4 things multiplied together this time. That's okay. It's still going to work as long as it's all multiplication. I'm going to use property number 3 to take this 3rd power and put it on each of these. So this is property number 3. This gives me 3 to the 3rd power, x to the 4th to the 3rd power, y squared to the 3rd power, z to the 3rd power. Okay, you can, if you want, put parentheses here. Like I said on the previous problem, it was important because that's a negative. We don't have that here, but it certainly doesn't hurt. Okay, times, we have basically the same thing here. We have 5 on the outside and things multiplied together here. So we take this 5th power and apply it to each one. So this is y to the 5th, z to the 4th to the 5th. Okay, 3 cubed. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. So many people tell me that's 9. It's the most common mistake. Try to be aware of that. Okay, Now what do I have here? Here, here, and here, I have exponents raised to exponents, powers raised to power. Those are property number 2. So I'm going to take care of those right now. Multiply these exponents. That's going to be x to the 12th power, y to the 6th power, z cubed. I don't need the dot because this is all multiplication and it's understood. Y to the 5th, z to the 20th. Okay, it's looking better, but I still have repeated bases. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to rearrange so that the like bases are side by side. Okay, so there's no other just number, so the 27 is part of my answer. This is the only x I have, so it stays x to the 12th. Now here and here, what I have is I have the same base multiplied together, so I add up those exponents. This is property number 1, and I get y to the 6 plus 5 is 11, z to the 3 plus 20 is 23. All of this is your answer.